Okay, I show you some uh, ideas how we are going to use this Gitlab or OBF setup for the test management. Very simple way. This is not in a level that it should be used for the large project. This is just an example how we could do it in a small implementation. So let's look at first what is the basic structure of OBF, that how we are documenting test cases if needed. So original way of this environment was that we are having this test management folder there. And if we want to make new test cases, there is one example I will make now, another one. So we have this some template files here, and I can select this test case template. And I'm just looking at the structure of that. I'm just making sure, can I actually copy? Yes, I cannot copy, but now I can. So I take this file structure as a foundation and as a copy, and then I will make a new file, and it's called tc001.2.markdown, and I put my test case there, and now I give a name tc002 and verify user login with wrong password. So it's a name of the test case. So we are expecting that no one is not going to log in if you use wrong password, but we have to check that. We have to verify that in our implementation. So I'm just updating some of these so you understand what I mean. So there is no Freud there, but there is me. Today it's 4th of March 24, and I'm saying that okay, this is a functional test. Let's make it functional test. I'm not updating any steps there because this test case is not the thing what we are here talking too much, but I'm making sure that you understand that this is the way how we collect all needed information about test case in one document. So I have now test case recorded in my test management folder. There is 2 of those. If we would like to do it this little bit different way, I show you next that how to do it. But let's look at first this TC002. So I take this same topic there, and instead of this specific documentation page, I will use the issues as a test case document. So if I make a new issue, I will select the test case. And now you see the same kind of structure there. And I will give the name as I was using that document page also. But now I give the topic, same title for the topic in this in issue. And then I will create issue, and let's look at what happens next. So we have now recorded one issue, which is actually test case. And here we can see that there it has a label test case because it's defined so, but there is no category. And as we define that this is functional test, so there should be now the one example of, okay, let's have this functional test. And let's take this one away. So now we have defined that, yes, we have a test case in a category functional test, and it's a verify user login with wrong password. And this is actually ticket, issue, whatever you are calling task. Now it's same kind of item like other user stories and things. So we can also talk about hash for the 6 value. So this is the issue. Let's look at now what happens. It's by default it's in backlog. So let's go for the sprint 3 and look at that what's going on there. So I have this issue board and I have defined already example of sprint 3. So we can see now that there is a two uh, test cases hanging there. And if we look at these are actually not such user stories or tasks. They are more like documents which will be updated during the process. So when we are having some user story, it means that we are selecting the user story. Actually, this is not connected with this one, but if this user story could be the login part. So all these test cases are also hanging there. So if we are going to deliver something and test case are linked with that one, so in this case, I just make this user story little bit. I little bit update this so you understand what I mean. I'm just updating, so now you see the benefit a little bit better. So if we look at now the sprint, so we are assuming that this user story here is actually having these tests, and we could make it very much valuable that okay, now we can actually have this kind of linking. So if I'm just going for my ticket and I would like to say that yes, there is some test cases which are heavily linked. So what about changing those as a hash? This way. Now we have two tickets issues which are actually testing issues. So this could be a very valuable way to do it and simple one. So if we look at the planning, so when we are starting work with this user story, it means that when this user story is there, these tickets are also flying with this user story. So when the tester is executing this or making this verification, it means that this ticket will be updated by me as a tester. Whatever. So I have executed tests with path accepted by me. And I can do this kind of uh, verdict in my case. So I'm just reading through what is needed and what steps should be done and what is expected results, and then I'm commenting that. But when we look at this high level, it means that this ticket, if we assume that both of tickets are now accepted because the tests are passed through, it means that this user story is also hanging there. So when we are in review day, it's possible that we are closing all these tickets there. And now we could say that yes, we have done user story and we have verified user story implementation with these two test cases. And now we have closed those. But this is a little bit difficult because it's possible that some other day this user story or some of these tickets are having the bugs, and if we lose the connection with these already defined test cases, it's possible that we are not memorizing that okay, there was actually two test cases which were not executed later when we find some bugs. So it's possible that there is no sense to close these at all, or just move them to wait for the better day if there is still need to execute these tests. So that's the low. This is a little bit bad kind of implementation for this process, but let's do it this way first. So as a short, I move these tickets there. So if we have a user story and someone is interested about if there is a separate test cases involved with this user story, tester is going to write those test cases as own issues, and they will be also traveling with this user story. And when the user story is under work and it's implemented and it's waiting for the testing, so tester will be executing these tests and reports the result in the tickets. So I'm saying here that okay, pass set. So it means that now I have as a test engineer, I've been able to say that it's done. There is another labels also, but I'm not trying to put the too much things here. But now we can say that yes, this is accepted, and we are waiting for the review, and the story is also accepted if the team is able to say that okay, all these steps are accepted by the team and the product owner or scrum master, and then we are closing them. So this is the way how we add a little bit visibility on testing if there is specific test cases. But if we look at the user story, there is acceptance criteria. It's possible that you have all these check elements here, so you are checking this and that, whatever is needed. So it's possible that all tickets, there is no need for separate test cases, but if there is, that's the reason why we have to define them as own pages. But if we want to make sure that you have defined already those tickets somewhere, you have defined test cases in your documentation, it could be valuable that now you move them as issues, because this could be quite valuable way to try out how to deliver issues there and test cases in the same pipeline. But let's discuss later more, but this could be one way to make sure that you can see what's going on in the testing field.